but obviously we're going to keep you updated on all of what's going on in free agency, guys. As I hit the go live button, I say welcome to Believers Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to this live edition of Believers Talk, guys. My YouTube page is going crazy right now with Buffalo Bills updates. Pretty sure there's going to be another video coming out on this channel during this live stream. So if you're going to watch this live stream, that's great. I really appreciate it. Again, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the content here and any questions that you may have. But yeah, while we're doing this here, I will be posting another video on Tyler Matukovic, who we just signed for the Buffalo Bills, formerly of the Pittsburgh Steelers, earlier today. A lot going on today, including the Tom Brady news. We could talk about that, obviously, and we could talk about Jordan Phillips. Unfortunately, Jordan Phillips will not be with the Buffalo Bills in 2020. That's unfortunate news, but here we are, guys. 12 o'clock, Anthony John, welcome. Good to see you in here, man. Glad you're here at 12:47 Eastern time. Not sure what time it is where you're at, but glad you guys can make it. I know a lot of you, some of you might still be at work. Some of your work might be suffering because of the coronavirus. And again, I'll start every video, at least the live videos that I do, talking about how I just want everyone to be safe out there. Wishing you all nothing but the best. My prayers and thoughts go out to anyone who has been affected by the coronavirus, whether it be your work schedule, whether it be your health, whether it be a family member's health. I keep my thoughts and prayers with you guys throughout. So again, I know a lot of people are at work, but wanted to get everyone up to date on what's going on in free agency. Maybe you're at work and you're not near a TV and you can't watch your phone constantly, so you want to know what's going on. Buffalo Bills haven't done too much today other than they signed a linebacker who, again, the video on him. Hey, Jamel, how you doing? The video that I did on just Tyler Matukovic. I'm sorry, I will missed that a lot, but yeah, Matukovic will be posted at 1 p.m. today, so make sure you're checking that out. Hey Jamal, how you doing? Good to see everyone here. Obviously, I think the biggest news of the day, which does have an effect on the Buffalo Bills, is the Tom Brady news, right? Tom Brady declaring that he will no longer be the quarterback of the New England Patriots. A lot of Bills fans celebrating that, as well they should be. Bills fans should be celebrating that because I do believe this opens the door, obviously, for the AFC East. And as the questions posed in the thumbnail, does this make the Buffalo Bills the favorite to win the AFC East at this time? Obviously, there's still lots of free agency to go. You still have the draft, right? The Miami Dolphins have 3 draft picks, and the Miami Dolphins are doing all right in free agency as well. They're spending that money, and they had the money to burn, so they're doing a pretty good job building a roster there. But we've heard plenty of times that a lot of teams that win in free agency don't do so well that upcoming season. So we're not sure what we're going to get out of the Miami Dolphins this season. But again, a lot depends on who they draft. Again, 3 first-round draft picks for the Miami Dolphins, definitely going in the right direction if you're a Miami Dolphins fan. And we do have to say that could be a concern going into the 2020 NFL season. But as for right now, here's what we know that happened today. So for the Buffalo Bills, we wanted to re-sign Jordan Phillips. A lot of Bills fans would have loved to see Jordan Phillips back in Buffalo. I would have loved to see it, but unfortunately he signs elsewhere. I believe he signed with the Arizona Cardinals. Tom Brady has announced that he will no longer be with the New England Patriots. So that kind of opens the door for the New England Patriots as far as who is their quarterback going to be in 2020. And when we say here, when we talk about how the Bills are going to be the favorite to win the AFC East, well, that might not necessarily be the case if the New England Patriots go out and get a serviceable quarterback. Now, we saw that Teddy Bridgewater is getting ready to sign with the Carolina Panthers, and the Carolina Panthers have given Cam Newton permission to seek a trade to another team. Could that trade be the New England Patriots? Also, you still have Philip Rivers out there. Philip Rivers still, hey Oliver, not much going on here, just coming on here live to give you live free agency updates. And we'll talk about the AFC East picture. Now that Tom Brady looks like he will no longer be in the AFC East, there's still a skeptical side of me that says I want to wait until I see the pen hit the paper, right? I want to wait till I hear him that he signed a contract with another team before I get too excited about Tom Brady possibly no longer being a New England Patriots quarterback. Again, New England can still go out and get a good quarterback. You still have the East is ours, says Jamal. You still have Philip Rivers out there. You have Cam Newton who can search for a trade. You have Andy Dalton who can be serviceable, putting in the right situation. And we know that Bill Belichick knows how to get the most out of his quarterbacks. I mean, look at Tom Brady. He was a 7th-round draft pick, right? So he knows how to get the most out of his quarterbacks. So who knows what's going to happen there. Again, a couple quarterbacks that come to mind are Philip Rivers, Andy Dalton. Cam Newton was told he could seek a trade. Those are all possibilities, and we've seen big trades already in free agency. None bigger for Bills fans as the one last night when the Buffalo Bills trade for Stephon Diggs. But we've seen big trades, and they can happen at any time. So even though, hi from UK, hey Father Snowman, glad you can make it. Hopefully you are being safe as well when it comes to the coronavirus. Glad that you can be on here again. Guys, if you haven't hit that thumbs up button, hit that thumbs up button. Helps out the channel. Bills are going to roll. Brady will sign with Bucks. There are two teams that are really looking at Tom Brady, who we think have a good shot to sign Tom Brady, and those are the LA Chargers, who the Bills would play next season. So it would be cool to see him go to LA because we would still play him next year, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We still have the best D. I think that this defense has only improved with some of the signings that we've already had during this free agency period. I mean, if you look at the Buffalo Bills, obviously we get Norman. Jim Hull says he needs to retire. Probably. I mean, a lot of people are going to be thrown off with him playing with any team other than the New England Patriots. But you look at what the Buffalo Bills have done so far this free agency. They've added Mario Addison. They traded for Stephon Diggs. And then there's two other names that we signed yesterday. You talk about we signed Tyler earlier today, Tyler Makukovic, and then A.J. Keene as well. We signed him. So there's a couple big names by the Buffalo Bills, big signings. Again, Buffalo Bills still have some pretty decent cap space out there if the Buffalo Bills would be looking to add some more names. If you watched Greg Tomset from Cover One yesterday, he says he expects to see the Buffalo Bills add at least one more $10 million per year, or one more $10 million per year contract once free agency begins. Remember, guys, free agency hasn't even officially begun yet. We just are in the tampering period right now, which means agents can sign with agents can talk to teams and get a deal done prior to tomorrow's start of the NFL season, whatever you want to call it. So again, guys, that is what's going on right now. Again, the big news today, Tom Brady announcing that he will not be a New England Patriot quarterback in 2020. Again, I just want to wait to see that he signed with someone else before I fully believe it. I want to put past Tom Brady just to joke with everyone and say that he's leaving New England and then just sign with them anyway. I just don't know why. I just want to put past him to do that. Put an apology up to the fans just to come back and say, nope, we're here for another few years. I just want to put past him to do that. But there are still some names out there for the New England Patriots that could do serviceable jobs and possibly lead this team to a winning record. We saw what Matt Castle did when Tom Brady got injured back in 2013, I think that was. So we know that's possible. We know that someone can come in, actually 2007, I think it was a long time ago now, but someone can come in and compete for a starting quarterback job right away. And make that team a good team. That team, just because they're losing Tom Brady, doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to fall to the bottom of the league, and just be nothing good for the next few years. I think that they still have some pieces around there that could make them a good team. So even though I think the AFC East should be the Buffalo Bills division to win, I really do. I don't think that we can look past the Miami Dolphins. I don't think we can look past the New England Patriots. The Jets have not done much. Father Snowman, yes, we lost Jordan Phillips. Jordan Phillips signed a deal with the Arizona Cardinals today. Unfortunately, with the signings that the Buffalo Bills have already made and with the trade for Stephon Diggs, we just didn't have the type of money that Jordan Phillips would have been asking for. I would have loved to keep Jordan Phillips around with the Buffalo Bills. I think he's a great asset to this Bills team. Again, you can't replace 9.5 sacks as a defensive tackle, but that's something we could address in the draft. We know Ed Oliver's coming back, and he'll be ready for a bigger workload next season. I think that there are a lot of good things to look forward to with this Buffalo Bills team. Hey, Scott, how you doing? Welcome to Billievers Talk. We're in a great position. Watch the Dolphins. However, their coach is a gamer, and they're making moves. They are making moves. They're making good moves, too. John Patrick is in here as well. Welcome. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. Did we not re-sign McKenzie because he would outplay the rookie? Well, right now we haven't re-signed McKenzie. Nothing has come through that we've re-signed anybody other than the names that we've already mentioned in free agency, and names that each single person that we've signed in free agency and the trade, of course, I covered earlier today on Billievers Talk. So make sure you check those videos out after we're done here with this live stream. I just wanted to keep you guys up to date with what's going on currently in NFL free agency. You're not hearing much out of the Buffalo Bills right now. Already today, we signed Tyler Matukovic, formerly of the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's going to be a great special teams guy, and that video is set to come out at 1 p.m. So make sure you look out for that when I'm done here. But yeah, he's going to be a great addition to our special teams, and we'll talk about that in that video. And I hope that you guys realize that special teams is a huge part of this process as well. If you're a Buffalo Bills fan, you know that over the past couple of years that we haven't had great special teams. We want to go back to the early 2010s when we had really good special teams. But what did you say? Jordan Phillips was signed by who? The Cardinals. The Buffalo Sports comes in and says the Arizona Cardinals. I can give you the details in a second here. The Arizona Cardinals signed Jordan Phillips to a 3-year contract. Still don't have the number going along with it, but the Arizona Cardinals were the team that signed the Buffalo Bills. Again, guys, thank you for joining me on Believers Talk. My name is Joe. If you're new to this channel, you want to hit that subscribe button, as we are going to keep you covered throughout the free agency process, throughout the draft process. We heard yesterday from the NFL that even though the NFL draft will still continue, will still be televised, it will not be in the same form that it was planned to be, with a large crowd in Las Vegas. Those player videos you do are great. Hey, thanks a lot, John. I appreciate that. And yeah, again, we've done one on Stephon Diggs. We've done one on AJ Keeley, or however you say his name. We've done one on Tyler Matukevich. I'm going to mess up that name a lot, guys. I'm really going to have a problem with that one. DJ Reader is the best replacement, but DJ Reader is also going for about $12 million. And so do we have that type of cap space available to sign DJ Reader to that type of deal? And is Jordan Phillips someone who needs to be replaced? Again, you look at Ed Oliver, you have Harrison Phillips coming back, you have Star Latuile, maybe just bringing a Corey Liuget type player who was here last season. Am I sick from St. Patrick's Day? No, I'm not sick yet. I'm just tired. I mean, if you guys were following me last night, you know that I was on here late. I was watching Greg Tomset's live stream, then hashtag the live stream, and then Buffalo Fanatics did a live stream after my live stream. I did some of those player profile videos after that, so didn't get to bed too real late, and then or actually I should say real early, and then I had to wake up early for work, get some things done at work before I could come back home and enjoy my vacation, my time away from work, and be here with you guys right here on Believers Talk. Again, thank you guys for joining me for this free agency edition. Again, right now for the Buffalo Bills, not much going on. We did sign that linebacker earlier. And we have made some news earlier. Obviously, I'll go over each one of the free agent tracker moves that the Buffalo Bills made here in a second, as soon as I pull them up. Mario Addison was added, 3-year, $30.45 million contract, includes a $15.25 million guarantee. That's a little bit more than I wanted, but I'm glad to see the contract come out. When I posted that Mario Addison video, I did not have the contract numbers. That's pretty much the same numbers that the Dolphins signed Shaq Lawson for, and I think they're comparable players, right? I mean, obviously Shaq Lawson has a little bit of an age advantage, but when you look at what Mario Addison has done over the past 4 seasons, you're talking about over 30 sacks. He's 11th since in that time period from 2016 to 2019 in sacks in the league. So to get him for about $10 million a year, 15.5 guaranteed, that's a lot of money. But that means that we still have more room to sign some players. Again, we had a lot of money coming into free agency, so to know that we use that money wisely, and I always trust Brandon Beane to make those right decisions. He has not let us down yet. Jamal Morris says gaping hole in the line. I don't know if there's a gaping hole in the defensive line. Like I said, with Ed Oliver willing to take on a bigger workload, with Harrison Phillips coming back, all we need is a guy like a Corey Liuget, a run-stopping type defensive tackle who's going to get the job done. And remember, guys, if we have someone like Mario Addison adding 9 sacks a season, if we can get Jerry Hughes back to where he was before, if we can maybe get some other help on the edge, and we get those sacks on the edge, we don't need those sacks at the defensive tackle position. We like seeing Jordan Phillips with 9.5 sacks in a season, second in defensive tackles and sacks in the NFL. But we don't need that if we get that pressure from the edge. And if we get that pressure from the edge, it's going to force the quarterback to step up. And then we want those defensive tackles to be in those positions to make the sacks at that time. Maybe bring one of the linebackers and a blitz, and then you get that sack in the A gap. So I'm sick of playing against Tom Deflaty. Well, we're not going to have to play against him anymore in the division. Now, again, one of the teams that I think are very interested in getting Tom Brady, and a team that might be getting him, is the LA Chargers. If the Chargers get him, then we do play them next season but it's not like we're playing against a division rival in that situation. And hopefully, with Tom Brady coming to an end of his career, he's slipping a little bit when it comes to age and productivity. Maybe we'll get to see that next year. A lot of people think he's going to go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, possibly. That's a team that has obviously shown interest in Tom Brady. But we'll see what happens. Again, free agency starts tomorrow at 4 p.m. A lot can happen between now and then in this tampering period, and we'll just see what the Buffalo Bills do in that tampering period to continue to improve this team. Welcome, angry Buffalo sports fan. The Brady era in the AFC East is over. Time for the Josh Allen Buffalo Bills era to begin. I like the sound of that. We had to pay the Buffalo tax, but great deal. Again, I mean, some people say it's a Buffalo tax, but I look at some of the deals that we've made, and I think they're pretty good deals. Yeah, was getting Addison a little bit higher than I wanted, $30.45 million over 3 years. Yeah, that was. Again, if you watched my video earlier on Mario Addison, if you haven't, check it out after we're done with the live stream here. I wanted him in somewhere in that $6 to $8 million per year range, right? I was a little off there, obviously, but that's what I wanted. That was like my wish list. But when you're talking about 3 years, $30.45 million, a little over $10 million a year, that's not a huge surprise as far as what the Buffalo Bills can still do with the salary cap that we have. We never beat the best. We'll take over the division by default, Jamel says. No, we'll take over the division because we're the best team in that division, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that, okay? And let me tell you something. When I hear the words Buffalo Bills 2020 AFC East champions, if that time is to come, it's not going to feel any less sweet because Tom Brady wasn't in the division. It's going to be awesome to hear those words. It's going to be awesome to know that the Buffalo Bills will have at least one home playoff game. I'm very excited. Philip Rivers signed with the Colts, FYI, says John. So Philip Rivers is not available for the New England Patriots. So they still got Cam Newton out there. You have Andy Dalton out there. I'm sure there's a couple names out there that I'm missing, but and again, we saw 2 big trades yesterday with wide receivers. The first one, DeAndre Hopkins, going to the Arizona Cardinals for pretty much a pack of gum. And then the Buffalo Bills trading with the Minnesota Vikings to get Stephon Diggs. Welcome, Scott Blakely. Always good to see you. Someday, you keep giving me these donations, and I appreciate it. First of all, guys, again, if you want to get a message across, use that super chat button. Helps out the channel. Great deal. And all the money received from that will go right back directly into this channel. But I'm soon going to have to do like a PSA for Scott Blakely. Like, this part of the broadcast was brought to you by Scott Blakely dollars. I do appreciate it, Scott. But Scott asks, Newton to the Patriots. Also, don't you think we still need elite defensive end? Newton to the Patriots seems like the best option for the Patriots at this time. You figure with Rivers gone, with Carolina signing Teddy Bridgewater, that he's gone. Who's their backup? I forget who the backup is in New England right now, but I don't think you can trust him to hold down the reins for too long. So you have Cam Newton out there. You have Andy Dalton out there. Those are 2 names that ring the biggest bell. I know RG3 is a backup in Baltimore. He's shown some promise last year during preseason, things like that. So maybe bring someone like him along for the ride. Tyrod Taylor is over in LA, so maybe you go after a guy like Tyrod Taylor if the LA Chargers are looking elsewhere for their guy. Bring Tyrod Taylor back to the AFC East. All those fans of Tyrod Taylor will see why we don't have him as our quarterback and why we have Josh Allen as our quarterback, as we would play him 2 times a year. But I think Newton to the Patriots, it makes the most sense at this point. I don't think Newton's game is comparable to Tom Brady's. I don't think Newton is anywhere where he used to be. So I wouldn't mind that at all. Obviously, each team needs a quarterback to play in the league. I think we could beat a Cam Newton-led Patriots team. I think we could beat a Tom Brady-led Patriots team. I just honestly do believe that. As I said earlier in a video, I was putting the Buffalo Bills as the 2020 AFC East champ, regardless of if TB12 stayed in the division or not. I had that expectation last month. I have that expectation still today, and I'll have that expectation going into the regular season unless someone gets hurt for the Buffalo Bills. But as far as an elite defensive end, I think a second-round defensive end would be just fine. You look at the free agency tracker. You look at who's left available out of the defensive end position, and we're going to look at that now. Who would you want? I mean, they still have Dante Fowler Jr. still out there, but would you consider him an elite defensive end at this point in his career? And there's a couple players out there. Do you think the Buffalo Bills can still afford to sign some of these players? Jadeveon Clowney still is not signed as an edge rusher. He's available. But can the Buffalo Bills afford that type of contract after some of the moves they've already made? I just don't know if they could do that. I'm looking through, seeing Dante Fowler Jr., another guy who's at that edge who could help out with the Buffalo Bills. But can we afford a contract like that anymore? Everson Griffin. Everson Griffin would be a great pickup. I think that's a big name there that I would actually like to see more than Griffin, to be honest, or more than Fowler, to be honest with you. I think that would be a nice name there. So those are the three names, the three biggest edge rushers you have left. You have Clowney, you have Fowler, and then you have Everson Griffin. Out of those three, which one would you prefer, Scott? Which would you prefer, Everson Griffin? Would you prefer Clowney, or would you prefer Dante Fowler Jr. if you had your choice of those three? I want us to beat Brady and win the division while he was there. Again, it's not going to be any less sweet to hear the Buffalo Bills are the 2020 AFC East division champions. I'm going to love that. Again, Scott, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. I really do appreciate it. What's our cap count at this point? Well, it's hard really to say just because, again, we don't have details on the Tyler Matukovic deal. We know that's worth up to $9 million. But if you look at Spot Track, and you look at the Buffalo Bills' current salary cap situation, I would say it's somewhere in the high 20s, low 30s right now. So let me check on that to see how close I am to correct as I go into Spot Track. That's what I use for my salary cap information. It's always Spot Track. So if you guys want to check out salary cap information, be sure to do that right there. Estimated cap space, I'm not sure when this was last updated, is 51 million. So I'm not sure if that includes some of the players that we signed yesterday. Remember the Addison, let me a second here. The Mario Addison deal probably isn't a part of that, and so you're talking about a 3-year 30.4, so that's another 10 million plus off of that, so you're looking at 41. The Tyler Matukovic deal, we're not sure exactly what that entails. At max, it's $9 million. So you're looking at about $31 million left over after those two. I'm pretty sure out of that 51, you got Diggs out of there as well. So you're looking at around $30 million still left to play with, according to my numbers and the calculations from Spot Track. So and as Greg Thompson from Cover One said yesterday, normally Brandon Beane likes to take $10 million and cover the regular season, so that way if someone gets hurt, he does have some backup capital to go get a decent player instead of just having to scrape at the bottom of the barrel for whoever is available at league minimum. You can go get another player. Griffin for certain, think affordable. I think Griffin would absolutely be affordable. Again, thank you very much, Scott, for the $4.99 donation. Yeah, I think Griffin, if you tell me that we got Clowney, I think that I'd be okay with that, especially if it's in the right price range, of course. But I think Clowney wants the money, right? I don't think he's fit for the culture. You give me Dante Fowler. I like Dante Fowler, but you're talking about a rotational player at that point in this stage of his career. You're talking about Griffin, and I think you got a guy who could be a 60-70% snap type guy and be very serviceable at that position at the edge. So I think I agree with you, Scott. I think Griffin would be our best choice. But again, if Clowney signs for the right price, I just don't know if he's a fit culturally for the Buffalo Bills. And he's always struck me as the type of guy who would be after the money. No offense to him. Listen, it's a business, right? So I'm not saying that in a bad way. Like, you go get your money if you can get your money. Marshawn Lynch calls it bread. If you can get that bread, take care of that bread. Take care of you and your family first, because you never know what's going to happen, right? You never know what's going to happen in this world anymore. So again, guys, thank you for joining me on Believers Talk. We got 16 people in here giving you up-to-date coverage on free agency. Again, the big news of the day, Tom Brady announcing that he will not return to the New England Patriots. Again, as excited as I want to be, I'm going to wait till the paper hits the pen and we know that he's signed a contract somewhere else. A lot of people are saying there's two possible suitors now for Tom Brady, one being the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the other being the LA Chargers. So we'll have to look into that. Jamel Moore says Griffin or Clowney, doesn't want Dante Fowler. I think I'm pretty happy with any of the three. I'm not saying there's a bad choice in there, but I think Griffin out of those three is the best option because, again, I think he could play 60-70% of the snaps, where Fowler is more at like the 40%, 50% range where we had Shaq Lawson. And then, again, with Jadeveon Clowney, I just don't know if he fits the culture in Buffalo. Alexander is a loss. Vic Beasley, well, again, you look at the linebacker position. We already signed 2 linebackers during free agency. And again, Scott, thank you for the $4.99 donation, both of them today. But yeah, Alexander is a loss, obviously, and he won't be replaced easily. But we already signed 2 linebackers for one strong side linebacker yesterday. So we know that the Buffalo Bills probably will not be looking at linebackers anymore in this draft. But I mean, in this free agency period, but possibly in the draft, we could get a young guy in there as the Buffalo Bills again signed 2 linebackers already this free agency period. So who knows what's going to happen? Vic Beasley's still a big name out there as well. But we have a lot of big names left to be decided. The Buffalo Bills running out of money, still about $30 million in cap space, not that bad. I look forward to see what their moves are. Again, if you ask Greg, the Bills had one more $10+ million deal possibly in us, and Greg put the number of free agent signings at somewhere between, I believe he said 4 and 6. So I would kind of agree with that. Again, I think we'll see more free agent signings later in the year when we lose players due to the 90-man cap and or 90-man roster limit, 92-man roster limit now though, right? Because of the new CBA, new money due to the new CBA, so that might change things. But right now, as we know today, Tom Brady has officially said that he will not be returning to the New England Patriots. Again, I'm gonna wait till I see where he signs before I get too excited. If he signs with LA, the Chargers, that means we play him again next season. Hopefully, if we play him next season, we can get a W against him. Who signed? Who signed for the Buffalo Bills? Let me tell you in 1 second here. Let me pull it up on my phone. I know all the names because I did videos on him earlier today, but Vic Beasley is overrated, says John Patrick. I don't know if he's overrated. I just don't want to. I just don't want to overpay him again with the money that we don't have anymore. I just don't want to overpay anybody. And I trust Brandon Beane. Brandon Beane seems to be a great negotiator for the Buffalo Bills, so I'm not saying that he would overpay, but I'm just hoping that he does not. So out of the players who have signed for the Buffalo Bills obviously traded for Stephon Diggs. Today, the Bills add linebacker Tyler Matakovich, formerly of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Stephon Diggs news. Mario Addison, of course, the Buffalo Bills signed him as well. So those are a few of the signings. Let me go here and pull up the other signings for you. Just give me 1 second. Again, I've done videos on every single one of the Buffalo Bills Buffalo Bills signees so far in free agency. Just forgetting names for some reason. As NFL.com doesn't even have some of the names listed on their website. Again, not always the biggest moves, guys, but these moves are going to matter when it comes to December, January football, right? I mean, you talk about Tyler Matukovic, and you talk about a special teams guy who's going to get the job done, and that's the kind of stuff that we need here for the Buffalo Bills. We talked about special teams being a kind of like a bugaboo for the Buffalo Bills. But the Buffalo Bills also signed A.J. Clean, formerly of the New Orleans Saints and the Carolina Panthers. That's the other linebacker that we signed, A.J. Clean, formerly of the Saints. He actually played with Coach McDermott when Coach McDermott was the defensive coordinator in Carolina. How about that Diggs trade? That's awesome. Ben Johnson comes in. Man, it was so cool. I was actually live. Some of you might have seen the live stream. I was live when it happened. So my reaction was one of pure enjoyment. When I first found out we got him, a little skeptical when I found out we gave a first-round pick for him. But after you did some research, after you listened to #sports, Cover One, and Buffalo Fanatics talk about the trade, it just all made more sense, and then you just got excited again. It was a great trade. Again, guys, thank you for joining me. Captain Pennsylvania, go Bills, absolutely. Not sure where in Pennsylvania you are, but I am also in Pennsylvania, so if you're the captain, I'll happily let you lead the ship, because right now it's a ship that I would not want to lead in this country with everything that's going on. So again, guys, thank you for joining me. Dawson Knox will have a breakout season along with Josh first 30+ touchdown passing season. AJ Clean, AJ Clean, 82 RNM, but that's who we signed, linebacker formerly of the Saints. So you know that we have some linebackers there. I'm not sure if we need to look at linebacker anymore, so that's going to be the replacement for Lorenzo Alexander. Again, we might pick one up in the draft. And you remember we have Boshawn Joseph still there as well, and I do talk about him and what that means for his role with the Buffalo Bills in that video, so we want to make sure you check that out as well. But right now, nothing really going on for the Buffalo Bills in free agency. Still have a few dollars to spend here, about $30 million. Again, you know Brandon Beane normally likes to keep somewhere between $7.5 and $10 million for the regular season, so that messes with things. But we also don't have a first-round draft pick anymore, so we don't have to worry about that taking up any draft capital either. The Bills trading their first-round draft pick yesterday for Stephon Diggs. Again, if you haven't checked out my reaction, there was a live reaction at the time it happened, and then I did do a player profile video later on as well, so make sure you check those out. But that's what's going on right now in Buffalo with this free agency period. Again, I think Buffalo is absolutely the favorite to win the AFC East going into 2020. You talk about Tom Brady no longer being with the Patriots. We're not sure who's going to be there. You talk about Miami being a few years away, right? Miami's looking good, and they signed some good pieces. And you know, hopefully for their fans' sake and for the Miami Dolphins' sake, they hit on these 3 draft picks. If you're a Bills fan, you don't want to see that happen. But you talk about Tua Tagovailoa possibly being a year away from playing football again. So who's going to be the quarterback next season there? But again, Miami's making the right moves, and right now they're looking pretty good. They've made a solid free agency splash so far with plenty of money to spend. You talk about adding Van Noy. You talk about adding a Shaq Lawson to a team that was last in the league in sacks last season. You add some pieces that can hopefully help them if you're a Miami Dolphins fan. But I think they're a few years away because of the fact that they're just, you know, you need to get that continuity. Remember last year was the year Buffalo had nine new starters on offense out of 11 starters. They had all the pieces on defense, but you saw it take a while for that offense to get that continuity, right? And so you saw, and a lot of it was Brian Daboll moving up to the booth, but you saw that the Buffalo Bills had some issues getting together on offense. John Patrick comes in. Dawson Knox won't be getting many targets this year. People shouldn't expect him to explode. You never know, right? You never know. I mean, Dawson Knox might be about the forgotten target in that now big wide receiver room. Again, you talk about Stephon Diggs, you talk about John Brown, you talk about Cole Beasley. You run them 3 out there. Dawson Knox might be the forgotten man on when you're talking about defensive covering all those players, because you still have Devin Singletary in the backfield you have to count for too. You put TJ Yeldon out there as a back who can catch out of the backfield as well, and all of a sudden there might be just too many targets for defense to focus on, and you might see Dawson Knox get open for a few big ones. But I don't expect to see Dawson Knox numbers to explode. I expect him to have somewhere between 30 and 40 catches next season, and we'll talk more about that as the season draws near, of course. But right now we're talking about NFL free agency again. Tom Brady announcing that he will no longer be with the Patriots. You have Cam Newton being given permission to seek a trade. But those are the big announcements. Jamel Morris says facts. Hopefully talking about me. I love facts. And then today, Buffalo has signed Tyler Matukovic, formerly of the Pittsburgh Steelers, linebacker, but more of a special teams guy. Again, just posted a video about him as well at 1 o'clock, so make sure you check that out. But again, just wanted to keep you guys up to date on everything going on in NFL free agency. And like I said, I do believe that the Buffalo Bills are have the best chance right now to win the AFC East. There's a lot of possibility things happening currently. With free agency still going on. Sorry guys, I'm moderating as I'm doing this as well. But there's still a lot of time in free agency, a lot of big names still out there. Obviously the draft matters. You talk about 3 draft picks for the Miami Dolphins, and that could change everything. That can absolutely change everything. So we'll see what happens. And again, free agency is constantly going on here. The tampering period has began yesterday. A lot of things happened yesterday with 2 big trades. And you know that I'll be live. I'll be live with you guys if anything else goes down with the Buffalo Bills, or if there's any other type of big news. And I'll post a video again, doing a video on every single Buffalo Bills pickup. And so far we've done that, and there's a post on my channel, so make sure you check those out. Hey Anthony, how you doing? Welcome to Billievers Talk. Glad that you can make it. Been on here for a little over half an hour now. Getting ready to get off. Just want to keep everyone up to date on what's going on in free agency, whether you're at work or you're home, or you're suffering from illness. Again, I hope you guys all get well and stay safe. But again, the biggest news is the Carolina Panthers signing Teddy Bridgewater, or close to I think they did sign Teddy Bridgewater, seeking and letting Cam Newton seek a trade to another team. It looks like all signs point to New England for Cam Newton. So let me know what you think about defense, John Patrick. We should go defense in the second round. I think that YouTube is sick and tired of notifying people about me going on here. Again, I think I posted about 5 or 6 videos already today, if you include this live stream. So I think the notification bell kind of fell behind the times a little bit, because there's just too much going on at Billievers Talk. But guys, I'm going to keep you covered right here on Billievers Talk. You better believe it. So make sure that you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell as we continue to talk about NFL free agency. Again, free agency starts tomorrow at 4 p.m. So we'll continue to keep covering on all the Buffalo Bills signed free agents, and we'll do a video player profile on each one of the draft picks. Again, so Cam Newton seeking a trade, Tom Brady saying he will no longer be with the Patriots. Again, most people thinking he'll either end up in Tampa Bay with the Buccaneers, which means Jameis Winston also becomes an interesting prospect too for the New England Patriots. Talk about a guy who had 30 touchdowns last season, also had 30 receptions. But yeah, as Jamal said, stay safe, everybody. But you do have some players out there that New England could seek out. Keep them coming. You like them? If you like them, I'm going to keep doing them. I appreciate all you guys, all your support. I appreciate everything you guys have done for the channel. And again, it's just been nothing but fun since the beginning, and I hope to continue to let that happen, give you guys the most up-to-date coverage of the Buffalo Bills. Again, not much going on today so far. Only one signing for the Buffalo Bills. That's Tyler Matukovich, formerly of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And you know that when we do sign more players, I will be with you right here on Believers Talk. So again, thank you guys for joining me for this quick live update edition of Believers Talk as we talk about free agency. Hey, no Tom Brady in the AFC East leaves it a little bit more wide open. I think the Bills have to have the edge right now. When you look at that roster, you look at that continuity, you look at what they have to build on from last season. Miami's not too far behind, though. I think they're a year or two yet behind just due to the rebuild that they had to do. But you talk about 3 first-round draft picks. You talk about some big-name signings, including Van Noy and Shaq Lawson this offseason. They might not be that far away. The Jets really haven't done much yet. The Jets really haven't done too much. I think they've only had one signing so far in free agency. Now, it could be the quiet before the storm type thing that the Buffalo Bills had yesterday, where they made 3 big moves within an hour of each other. And again, we were live right here on Believers Talk when it happened. Yeah, the Jets have only signed George Fant. Tackle agreed to a 3-year deal for $27.3 million. Again, we would love to get a decent tackle, maybe in free agency, maybe in the draft. We'll see what happens. As far as the New England Patriots go, the New England Patriots, of course, the biggest news is Tom Brady, but they did sign Devin McCourty, Matthew Slater, and they franchise tag Joe Thuney. If you watch my offensive line edition of Believers Talk, when I talked about who we could add, I like Joe Thuney a lot, but he gets the franchise tag. That might be why I got the franchise tag, because he is a great offensive guard for the New England Patriots. Again, guys, thank you for joining me on this edition of Believers Talk. Plenty more videos to come, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and as always, I look forward to talking to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills. Scott with another $4.99 donation. Thank you. I want to make sure great diversion you provide us with all that's going on. I try, and I'll keep that up to date. Again, Scott, thank you for the super chat, and again, I just really appreciate all that you guys do. So just wanted to give you a shout out real quick. But yeah, I'm going to continue to give you all up-to-date Buffalo Bills news. And if you guys are at work, first of all, I apologize. I'll be back at work tomorrow, but you know that I'll be updating you when I can, whether it be from my phone, whether I can get home on my lunch break, whatever the case might be. You know I'm going to update you right here. So make sure you have that, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. I look forward to talking to you all.